I can't believe I'm saying this, but Activision has addressed SBMM for the very first time. I'm going to talk about what I think this means for the future of Modern Warfare 3 and beyond. And then also, is this even the biggest issue in the game right now? Going to talk about a number of those issues as well. And of course, I want to hear from y'all, man. What do you think about this discussion finally from Activision talking about SBMM? Let me know down below. And if you like what I do, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I'm going to read this direct quote. This is off of IGN's website. I'll make sure I leave a link to this down below if you want to read over this. But essentially, somebody that works at Activision or a spokesperson for them said, "We know there is a lot of interest in the matchmaking experience, especially around how skill contributes to how lobbies and matches are put together. Nothing is more important to us than the experience players have with the game, and matchmaking is a big part of that." Okay? We've been working on our matchmaking system for well over 10 years, and we continue to spend a ton of time and energy on improving the matchmaking process. This involves people working at our Call of Duty studios, our back-end service teams, Demonware, other groups like our Player Insights team. It's a large effort that we've worked on for many years, and our approach combines latency, search time, and skill, along with many other factors, to try to find the best match experience for you. Talking about this topic in detail can be hard, and we haven't spent the time to pull together all of our work to share with you our insights and improvements over the many years. Well, that is an understatement. We're looking forward to doing that in the coming weeks after Season 1 launches, and we'll also make it a part of our ongoing discussions with the community. Holy crap. So basically what they're saying is they're giving us an idea of how they approach matchmaking, and they're also saying that, hey, listen, we know we've been ignoring you for a long time. We promise we won't do that anymore. And so I have to say that even though it's been way too long, this is way overdue, at least I appreciate that they've finally recognized one of the biggest points of contention in the game, and it has been for literally a decade. You got to remember, man, I started with Call of Duty in 2008, early January 2008. I can remember a time where you'd get in a lobby and you would have the same people for basically as long as you wanted, and you would always come across really good players, medium skill, and of course new players alike. And so it always made a really fun and balanced experience. Very rarely were you going to get thrown into matches where it was just all new players. Now, there were some matches where you would get paired up with, a brand new team or whatever, and you would have a field day, and that was part of the fun of it. It didn't always feel like you were in this god-awful sweat match of a competition that we're not even getting paid for. It felt like real fun. It felt like something where when you got off of work, you turned on Call of Duty, you invited your buddies, and you guys all just played. Now, I have nothing against ranked matches, Call of Duty leagues, and competitive play, but at the same time, when you're talking about casual playlists, casual players, myself included, I just want to kick some butt every once in a while and not feel like I have to really, really grind it out to be able to do that. And so I'm really hoping that they take this seriously and address this, right? And I don't think SBMM needs to totally go away. I just think it needs to be softened significantly. Lobby disbanding. I mean, there's no reason for us to go back and forth between the game and the lobby and the game and the lobby. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have had a ton of crashes. Probably more crashes in Modern Warfare 3 than any previous Call of Duty game. Literally there for a period, I would play a match, game would crash. Play a match, game would crash. So that makes it even more annoying. So again, I feel like Sledgehammer's probably done a better job of this. I feel like the 10v10 mosh pit mode, obviously is probably maybe combining bots in there, but it's also, I don't think, prioritizing skill as much as it is latency and just good matchmaking, just trying to get, 20 players into that game. And I could almost guarantee that if you took a poll of Call of Duty players, probably 75 to 80% of those players would say the same thing. It needs to be softened significantly. If you want to sit in your chair and sweat until that thing is dripping off in the floor, go play ranked. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I want a whole bunch of, lobbies with bots, and I don't want a bunch of new players every game, but I do want some games where I feel like the king of COD once again. So, some people say that's a skill issue and get better and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, we know it's there. Activision's finally responded to it, and hopefully they'll do something about it. Now, not only has this been an ongoing issue, but some of the new things we've seen, well, kind of new, is snaking 2.0. So if you haven't seen these clips, make sure you look them up on YouTube or X. And it's actually pretty funny, but at the same time, it looks like it's affecting PC players, or they're able to keybind and do something. I have no idea, but regardless, this is something else. I will also say that I think the spawns are absolutely jacked. I don't understand it. I mean, it literally feels like the spawns are worse in this game than any previous Call of Duty I've ever played. I know that I've said that a couple of times now, but I really feel like the spawns are just awful, and I don't get it. They've been doing this similar spawn system for how many years now, and the fact that they still can't seem to get it right, just boggles me, man. It's like one of those things you would think just would be an automatic in a new Call of Duty game. The spawns are going to be consistent, but they most definitely are not, and that has to be addressed. Another thing they are looking at doing is fixing the Groot skin. Now, to me, it seems like they would have taken what they learned from the Rose skin and then implemented that going forward, but the Groot skin is an absolute nightmare, or it can be. So I don't know what they're doing to actually fix this. I know they did do some adjustments to up the contrast shortly after that had come out, or shortly after Modern Warfare 3 came out. But again, it's just one of those things you just think to yourself, like, you guys didn't learn from the Rose skin at all. Other than that, though, I honestly, man, I've been trying to give this game a fair shot. And while I think it is one of the lazier attempts at a Call of Duty game, it still has been pretty dang fun. Nostalgia is paying off to an extent. And I mean, I do appreciate playing in some of these older maps. I realize some of the maps that I really just could not stand then, and I don't like them now, but a good majority of them I really do enjoy. So we have a couple of new maps coming with Season 1. Of course, we have Yurzikistan, new Warzone map, and all of that. And so hopefully they will kind of get some of this stuff right, and we will have a good, solid season of Call of Duty. We'll just have to see how it goes. I know they've had a rough start, man, and I've given them a hard time. I'm just giving you my honest opinion on where I think they're at with it. But overall, I've been having a little bit more fun in the game. I still don't think it's worth $70. I think at best this is a $30 or $40 DLC. That's just my opinion, though. I'd love to hear yours on any of the topics I covered right here. What do you think about the SBMM? What do you think about these fixes? What do you think about the spawns? What do you think about some other issues that you've seen in the game? Let me know down below. Again, if you like what I do, consider subscribing. See y'all in the next one. And as always, hold them down.